2017 and 2018 were seasons where Mercedes Petronas would encounter increased opposition from Scuderia Ferrari, with 2016 world champion Nico Rosberg announcing a shock retirement once he sealed his driver's title. It was left to quadruple champion Sebastian Vettel to fight Lewis Hamilton. New technical regulations permitted teams to build cars 2 metres wide. The title fight in both seasons would follow a similar pattern. Vettel and Ferrari would start the opening races strongly before Hamilton and the Silver Arrows would catch up. However, catastrophic driving mistakes from the German and weak technical developments, allied with operation errors for his team, paved the way for his British rival to wrap up the titles by Mexico in both seasons. Using the Crystal Score system, I will mark down every driver with a score out of 10 and then rank every driver with a points average. This Crystal Score will consist of all the drivers' eligible points accumulated, which are then divided by the number of races they clocked up a score. Jolyon Palmer, 2017 E, Reject of the Year. After a solid 2016 rookie campaign, the Briton was caught out horribly with the new 2017 regulations. It turned out to be the season from hell, as crashes in Australia, Russia and skirmishes in Italy and Malaysia was the tip of the iceberg. In addition, Palmer's relationship with Renault deteriorated rapidly, and he found himself hammered in terms of all-round pace by new teammate Nico Hülkenberg. Once it became clear the 25-year-old was not even in the same postcode as his German counterpart, the teams prioritised new parts to their team leader, and mechanical issues affected Palmer's outings at Baku, Silverstone, Spa and Monza. Despite a superb drive in mixed conditions at Singapore, where he achieved a career best of 6th, Jolyon was handed his P45 by Japan and was replaced by Carlos Sainz. Daniel Kvyat, 2017 D-. 2017 was supposed to be the season where the young Russian revived his flagging reputation, but it seemed as if the humiliation of being demoted to Toro Rosso early in 2016 had demoralised him more severely than initially thought. After scoring points at Melbourne and Catalonia, Kvyat would suffer technical failures at China, Canada and Baku. However, he certainly did not help his own cause with collisions at Monaco, Austria and Britain, the last of these in which he smashed into teammate Sainz on the opening lap, which eventually wore out Helmut Marko's patience. Therefore, it was no surprise to see Daniel replaced by Pierre Gasly from Malaysia, and despite Sainz's late season departure to Renault, Brendan Hartley would also fill in the remaining races. Fortunately, Kvyat will be returning to Toro Rosso as a race driver for 2019 after a year of testing for Ferrari. Lance Stroll, 2017 D. 2018 D+. 2018 Reject of the Year. The much divided Canadian made his Grand Prix debut in 2017, where major question marks over his readiness for F1 were raised very quickly. Numerous scrapes and barges was the story of his opening races, which enhanced his image as a pay driver. His home race at Canada would prove a substantial turning point, however, as a punchy drive with effective overtakes saw Stroll clinch his medium points finishes for 9th. Although some derided his medium podium at the subsequent Baku race as a fluke, it was a solid display of Stroll's nerve under pressure, despite Valtteri Bottas nipping past on the finish line to relegate the 18-year-old to 3rd. Lance would then pick up 5 further points finishes during 2017 and qualified 2nd at a wet Monza, but it was inescapable how often he was outpaced by veteran teammate Felipe Massa for the majority of the season. 2018 would see Massa replaced by Sergei Sorokin and a dreadful new FW41 Williams chassis, but Stroll's attitude would also prove to be problematic. In spite of a steady performance to grab 8 and an attrition-affected Baku race, his Monaco performance was characterised by his petulance on the team's radio. Being out-qualified by Sorokin once again placed a spotlight at his father's money, which has been transitioned towards the newly purchased Racing Point outfit. Of course, 2018 Rejects of the Year will be joining his father at the rebranded Force India team for 2019. Sergei Sorokin, 2018 C. Whilst some may find themselves forgetting that the 23-year-old Russian ever raced in F1, it's safe to say the Moscow native did not disgrace himself. Entering Grand Prix racing with a heavy dose of SMP money behind him, Sorokin gradually came to grips with Williams' recalcitrant FW41 and impressed at times. His Monaco qualifying performance was arguably the highlight of his season, where he clocked up the 13th fastest time behind Vandoorne's McLaren and ahead of both Sauber's and Haas, as well as Hartley's Toro Rosso and teammate Stroll. Sorokin scored what will most likely prove to be the only point of his F1 career at Monza, whereby the season's end his sponsors announced he would not be returning for 2019 due to SMP's dissatisfaction with Williams' dreadful developments. Brendan Hartley, 2018 C. New Zealand's sole representative has provided a solid, if unspectacular, display of himself during the past 2 years. Unfortunately, it became a frequent sight to see Hartley outperformed by teammate Pierre Gasly by a large margin. Herbert Marko made his displeasure at the Kiwis' lack of speed very loud in the media, and there were rumours Brendan would be dropped mid-season. Alas, Hartley would complete 2018 with Toro Rosso, but just 3-point finishes has seen him dropped in favour of Kvyat, who will return for 2019, and rookie Alex Albon. However, it was rather poignant to see Honda's farewell message to Hartley, as it appeared the Japanese engine supplier believes his knowledge and experience will be heavily missed for 2019. Marcus Ericsson, 2017 D. 2018 C. The Swedish journeyman commenced 2017 with a third season at Sauber, much to the consternation of the F1 fan base. He would complete his second consecutive season without scoring a single point in a year littered with apathy and basic driving errors at Singapore and Japan. Despite persisting with an image of one of the sport's most underwhelming drivers, it was found that Ericsson's average qualifying deficit to Pascal Wehrlein was only 0.049 seconds. However, that did not stop pundits from slamming his re-signing for 2019 at Hinwil, especially now as Alfa Romeo announced themselves as the new sponsors of Sauber. Of course, 2018 though has proved to be a huge leap in performance from the Swede, who managed to score 6 times, and his points total of 9 clinched him 17th in the driver's standings. It is curious though that the 28-year-old has been dropped by Sauber on the back of his best season in Grand Prix racing, but he will be racing in IndyCar for 2019. Stoffel Vandoorne, 2017 D+, 2018 C. Belgium's hottest prospect had so many experts anticipating his full-time debut for 2017, but McLaren's newest protege has proven to be a major flop. Whilst poor equipment has stunted his progress, there's been far too many occasions in the past 2 years where Vandoorne failed to make an impression. To illustrate his struggles further, 2018 saw him whitewashed by Fernando Alonso in qualifying, becoming the first driver since Nelson Piquet Jr. to suffer such a fate. Of course, Piquet happened to be... Of course, Piquet also turned out to be the Spanish double world champions teammate for that year in 2008 as well. So, yeah, unlucky. But only twice did the Belgian finish in front of Alonso during these 2 years, and his best drive was arguably his 7th place at the 2017 Malaysian Grand Prix. With Van Dorn having already departed to race in Formula E, it's unlikely we will ever see the 26-year-old race in F1 again. Pascal Wehrlein, 2017 D+. Whilst no one doubted the 27-year-old German's ability, the 24-year-old German's ability, the Sauber's driver's commitment and passion was something that left insiders unimpressed. Ultimately, despite scoring at Barcelona and Baku, it was felt that by many that Wehrlein was doing the bare minimum to narrowly defeat his journeyman stablemate, Ericsson. Inevitably, his Mercedes affiliation costed him his Sauber ride for 2018, thanks to Alfa Romeo stepping in to fund the Swiss outfit, with George Russell joining Williams for 2019 and Esteban Ocon reverting to a reserve role for Mercedes. Pascal has split ties with Mercedes and now races for Mahindra in Formula E. However, it has only just been broken, the news that Pascal Wehrlein will be Ferrari's simulator driver and one of their reserve guys for their 2019 F1 team. So, if anything happens at Ferrari and Sauber in the next 2 years or so, don't be surprised if Pascal might have a chance at returning at racing. Romain Grosjean, 2017 C-, 2018 C. Oh, Romain. It's obvious the Frenchman joined Haas as a springboard into a Ferrari seat, but the past 2 seasons have put paid to his chances of ever clinching a ride at any top team. It's arguable that Grosjean's decision to leave Renault in 2015 has proven to be the wrong choice, especially if 2018's constructor standings is a harbinger for success for his former team. For every potent result he produces, there's always a subsequent performance that makes you wonder how the Swiss-born driver was handed an opportunity to race in the top tier of motorsport in the first place. Whilst Grosjean has maintained his dominance in qualifying over teammate Kevin Magnussen, it's clear to see the Frenchman has been the cause of his own failure to capitalise on promising positions. He will continue to race for Haas in 2019, but if he repeats the antics of 2018, which left him pointless after the opening 8 races, it's probable this season could well be his final year of F1. Kevin Magnussen, 2017 C-, 2018 C+. Denmark's most famous name in racing has proven himself as one of the most aggressive drivers in F1 during the past 2 seasons. Despite making few friends though, K-Mag has displayed massive progress, and his early 2018 form even prompted rumours of a potential move to Ferrari. Scoring 5 times in 2017, he entered 2018 with commentators demanding better consistency and better and cleaner driving. Whilst Magnussen improved his driver standing position from 14th to 9th in the past 2 years, his sportsmanship is still questionable. Bizarrely though, the Dane only has 2 points on his super licence, but we feel that's a major block on the judgment from the stewards and the FIA. Despite a dip in form towards the end of 2018, it is expected by many that the 26-year-old could end teammate Grosjean's career in F1 for good if he really turns up the wick in 2019. Pierre Gasly, 2018 C. New Red Bull driver Gasly has impressed when his car has proven competitive, with 2018 providing 5-point finishes for the Frenchman. Making his debut at the 2017 Malaysian Grand Prix, he's only had two teammates in Carlos Sainz and Brendan Hartley at Toro Rosso first fall. Therefore, it is difficult to judge how Pierre will fare against 2019 teammate Max Verstappen, but if he can produce performances similar to his 2018 Bahrain drive to fourth, he may prove to be respectable. However, there have been reports from team insiders that Gasly needs to be instilled with discipline. Make of that what you will. Carlos Sainz, 2017 C, 2018 B. It is difficult to decipher whether the 24-year-old actually displayed any tangible improvement in 2018 or whether his 2017 form was only strong in a superficial sense. It's probable there is a significant margin in talent levels between two of his most recent teammates in Nico Hülkenberg and Daniel Kvyat. The German has been stupendous on his best days, whilst the Russian's erratic display saw Kvyat drop for 2018, whilst the Spaniard did a marvellous job of earning 7th in the constructor standings for Toro Rosso in 2017 single-handedly. It must not be understated, he was just as invaluable in contributing to Renault's 4th place in 2018. My opinion is that Sainz is one of F1's most consistent drivers, scoring 23 times in the past 2 seasons, but he will be filling Alonso's shoes of leading McLaren in 2019. Felipe Massa, 2017 C. Brazil's most recent representative drove his final season in 2017, where he had the advantage over Lance Stroll without even sweating. Whilst Massa drove as precisely as he could, bad luck would see him lose a possible final career victory at Baku. Despite finishing 3 points ahead of Stroll, it was clear Massa had been superior, but Williams began shopping Felipe's seat around, with cash issues arising. It was a wise decision on the Brazilian part to announce his retirement for good late in 2017, and he would achieve 7th at his final home race, beating old rival Fernando Alonso. This was a much better send-off than the tear-jerking scenes of 2016 when he spun in torrential conditions and walked back to the pits holding the Brazilian flag and waving to the crowd and embracing his wife and his son. Felipe Massa now races in Formula E. Sergio Perez, 2017 C, 2018 B. The past 2 seasons have proven to be a checkered affair for the 28-year-old Mexican, who has blended impressive displays with moments of hot-headed madness. However, he must be commended for saving the Racing Point team last August when it appeared the team would be shut down permanently following Vijay Mallya's legal issues back in his homeland of India. By placing the team in administration, Perez and his sponsors were able to facilitate Lawrence Stroll's purchase of the team, but it meant the team's constructors' points were wiped out for the first 12 races. Nevertheless, Perez and Esteban Ocon succeeded to make up for these lost points by sealing 7th place for the Silverstone outfit in the remaining 9 races for the Constructors' Championship. Unfortunately for Perez, he has been outqualified consistently by Ocon, and there have been numerous collisions between the pairing. 2017 saw them tangle at Montreal and Spa, whilst 2018 saw Perez slam Ocon into the wall on the opening lap at Singapore. It should come as some relief to Perez that his new teammate will be Lance Stroll, who should not pose any threat, but with the Mexican accelerating towards the age of 30, he may overdrive in 2019 in the hopes of catching the glances of the top teams. Esteban Ocon, 2017 C+, 2018 B. It's been a couple of promising but rather erratic seasons for the 22-year-old Frenchman. The jury remains undecided whether Ocon is truly worthy of a Mercedes seat anytime soon, but his qualifying speed has been mesmerising to say the least. Ocon has clocked up 28 points in the past 2 seasons, but he has found himself consistently outscored by veteran teammate Perez. 160 points for the Mexican to Ocon's 136 points over the past 2 years. Despite this, their partnership has proven to be the sport's most evenly matched, with Ocon finishing ahead of the Mexican 16 times to Checo, compared to Checo beating the Frenchman 15 times. If Bottas struggles in 2019, don't be surprised to see the lanky Normandy native appear mid-season as Hamilton's new teammate at Mercedes. Valtteri Bottas 2017 B, 2018 B-. It's been a tale of 2 contrasting years for the NASCAR native. 2017 was a steadfast breakthrough season with 3 victories and a strong third in the driver's standings. But 2018 has been a season mixed with ill fortune and fading motivation. Both seasons do follow a similar pattern where in the first half of the season, Bottas was much quicker and closer to Hamilton compared to the second half. However, whilst the Finn was rewarded for strong performances in 2017, a lack of aggression at Bahrain and a disaster at Baku denied him further eye-catching results this season in 2018. It's safe to say if Bottas was following team orders at Hockenheim and Sochi in the hopes of prolonging his stay at Mercedes beyond 2019, he is in desperate trouble. It is one of major urgency Valtteri improves for 2019, especially with his impotent run of 4 consecutive P5 finishes that concluded his 2018 season. Nico Hülkenberg 2017 C, 2018 A-. It's been 2 revival seasons in terms of results for the 31-year-old German, who will have the prospect of facing Daniel Ricciardo at Renault for 2019. Due to suffering 13 retirements in the past 2 years, it is a credit to Hülkenberg that he dragged himself into a top 10 positions in the driver standings for the past 2 seasons. In addition, his 2017 season was interrupted by numerous technical issues that saw him strolling to weak finishes as his French team adapted to the new regulations, with the far more effective Carlos Sainz replacing Jolyon Palmer as his teammate for 2018. Nico has lifted himself to another level, and likewise Renault improved their constructors' position from 6th to 4th. Charles Leclerc 2018 B+. Ferrari's newest signing and youngest driver in almost 40 years had a fabulous rookie season at Sauber. Every superlative that can be said about the 21-year-old Monegasque has already been written, but the statistics tell us he well and truly destroyed Ericsson with ease. It remains to be seen, though, whether he can match or even beat team quadruple world champion teammate Sebastian Vettel in 2019. And of course, you may be aware, whilst many people are impressed by his raw speed, the political changes at Ferrari that will be taking place with Matteo Binotto replacing Maurizio Arriva-Bene as team principal will have a knock-on effect. So you better watch out. Kimi Raikkonen, 2017 B, 2018 B+. Whilst many panned the Iceman's 2017 as an unadulterated disaster, 2018 was in truth an upgrade rather than any major strides forward for the 2007 world champion. Collisions with Bottas wrecked his races at Barcelona and Baku in 2017, a year which also saw Kimi cynically wiped out by Vettel at Singapore and then denied the chance to start the Malaysian Grand Prix thanks to power unit issues. There were also some who believe Ferrari deliberately paid the fin early at Monaco and Hungary to allow Vettel to leapfrog and maintain his lead at both races respectively. 2018 would see more missed opportunities for Raikkonen as a botched pit stop at Bahrain, an engine failure at Spain, and a mediocre outing at Canada snapped the now deceased chairman Sergio Marchionne's patience, who wrote in his will that he wanted Charles Leclerc to join Ferrari for 2019. Austria and Italy would see Kimi cruelly denied victory, the first of which saw Max Verstappen unpenalised for shoving Kimi on lap 1, and then the latter saw Raikkonen's rapidly deteriorating tyres lose an emotive win to Lewis Hamilton in front of the Tifosi in what would be his final Italian Grand Prix as a Scuderia Ferrari driver. Gracefully, Cota would see Kimi reborn in the USA and achieve his first win in 5 years. Hopefully, his return to Sauber will see the Finn in a more dignified position. Fernando Alonso, 2017 B, 2018 B. The feisty Spaniard continued to display his credential as one of the sport's greatest drivers in his final seasons of F1. But the results proved to be woefully lacking. In between his efforts to drag his underpowered McLaren to points finishes, it became a regular occurrence for Alonso to bemoan his machinery and Honda's lack of progress in 2017. So 2018 was supposed to be the year in which the best chassis on the grid would finally allow the double world champion to win races again. But as you all may know by now, all hopes were disintegrated by Catalonia. The new B-spec McLaren MCL 33 with its weird nose proved to be cumbersome. It had too much drag on it, and apparently Van Dorn's own chassis had less downforce than Alonso's chassis, which was quite frankly ridiculous. And the car's non-linear progress was found to be sidetracked by McLaren's distractions with their dalliances in sports car racing, their production car operation, and their flirtations with setting up a full-time IndyCar program. Thankfully, Alonso's whining and attacks on the sport of F1 will finally disappear in 2019. Gracias, Fernando. Max Verstappen, 2017 B, 2018 A-. The temperamental Dutch youngster has shown himself to have the credentials of not only becoming an F1 legend, but also becoming one of F1's most threatening drivers on and off the track. Whilst Max has outraced and outqualified teammate Daniel Ricciardo regularly, their Red Bull car's disgusting reliability has stopped them from potentially challenging for more race wins. Unfortunately, Max's Weybridge skirmish with Esteban Ocon following their 2018 race collision shows the 21-year-old needs to develop control of his emotions and, to be quite frankly honest, keep his dad Jos the Boss away from race weekends. Daniel Ricciardo, 2017 B, 2018 A-. In terms of average race performances, the Crystal Score ranks the Honey Badger as the third best average driver over the past 2 years. It appears, though, however, the consensus on the Australian is that he has probably reached his peak at 29 years old, so it is a wise move for Ricciardo to move to Renault. It is visible that Max Verstappen will only get better, and the performance gap between the now split pairing of Max and Dan would probably grow and leave Danny humiliated. 2017 would witness Ricciardo on the podium 9 times, including a plucky win at Baku for Red Bull. However, 2018 has only consisted of 2 wins at China and Monaco, both of which have proven to be his only podium finishes of this season. Sadly, once the news of Ricciardo's move to Renault became apparent, Red Bull gave him the cold shoulder, and conspiracy theories over his reliability woes proliferated. So here's to hoping 2019 bears better fortunes for the Honey Badger. Sebastian Vettel, 2017, A-. 2018, B+. 2017 Belgium. Vettel led Hamilton by 7 points in the Drivers' Championship. 2018 Britain. Vettel led Hamilton by 8 points in the Drivers' Championship. Those statistics tell a story of 2 title campaigns that fell apart in similar dramatic fashion when you consider the deficit by the end of both seasons, in which Hamilton was able to wrap up both titles with 2 races to go. However, the way they collapsed differs monumentally when both campaigns reached Singapore. 2017 witnessed the German pull off one of the most idiotic defensive manoeuvres ever seen in F1 history by clattering into Kimi Raikkonen, Max Verstappen and Fernando Alonso. 2018 Singapore, on the other hand, saw Ferrari bring new technical updates which failed and handed the development initiative to Mercedes. Whilst 2017 would be further hamstrung by Ferrari's power deficit, power unit suffering real reliability woes as they attempted to close the power deficit, 2018 witnessed Vettel's reputation hang by a thread thanks to numerous collisions and driving errors. Just not good enough, I'm afraid. And of course, the strategic errors from team members such as Anaki Ryuda and Jock Clear must be noted. What in the world were they doing putting intermediate tyres on both Ferraris in Q3 at Japan when it stopped raining? It's a joke. It really was a joke. Yes, Vettel made a lot of mistakes, but the thing is, the Ferrari team totally messed up. That's all I can say, really. But despite it all, it is pretty much his mistakes are pretty much hence why the new Ferrari management have decided to hire Charles Leclerc as his new teammate because of his driving errors throughout the past 2 years. But the harmony between Vettel and his departing teammate Raikkonen will be heavily missed in the political slaughterhouse that is Maranello for 2019. Driver of the Year for both 2017 and 2018 is Lewis Hamilton. A grades for both seasons and top of the standings in both years. Britain's most successful Grand Prix driver has simply been unstoppable. Take your pick of his best races in the past 2 years. In 2017, he came out on top in duels with Vettel at Spain, Belgium and USA, whilst 2018 saw him steal 4 improbable victories at Hungary, Germany, Italy and Singapore when the odds were stacked against him. He has dismantled new teammate Valtteri Bottas with devastating ease. But Lewis may be praying Bottas shows some improvement to help him fend off revitalised driver partnerships at Ferrari and Red Bull respectively. In addition, it's unlikely Lewis Hamilton will be welcoming of Esteban Ocon if the Frenchman does find himself promoted to a Mercedes seat, considering Ocon's past history of clashing with Sergio Perez. So that is your list. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to Crystal Racing. Please share this video and I will see you again very soon.